Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back after a beautiful 4th of July weekend. I am the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. And to my right, it's the man that knows better. It's Mo Better.
Hey, morning, Gene. Morning, chat. Let's go.
Bro, I love that. What is that? Coffee and Sports? Is that a t-shirt? What is that on that bear?
Oh, it's a hoodie. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Great stuff. Ray Rock and Roll. How was your 4th, Mo? Did you have a good 4th of July?
I had a great 4th of July. Full of a little bit of everything. You got the fireworks and the food, and you got the great food. And then you have the food that's not so good from certain relatives that you avoid, but you make them feel good because you put it on your plate, but you don't actually eat it. And all of the above.
Hope they're not listening right now.
Yeah, I just really wigged out on myself.
And welcome, Mr. William D. Morgan.
Hey
good
guys,
morning. Good morning. How was your 4th?
Good morning. How's everyone doing today?
What's up, Will?
My 4th was all right. Brother had to work. But once work was done, ate some great food, hung out with the family. So I can't complain.
So Thursday I got off work at 2:30. And I shot a round of golf.
There you go.
And then Friday, I had a tea time Friday morning. So I shot another round of golf. Saturday, I played in a charity softball tournament, in which we played 5 softball games.
Wow.
And then Sunday, I played 2 more softball games. All 4 days, the temperature was above 90 degrees. I know you cannot see the back of my neck, but I fully understand what it means to be a redneck. Like, my neck is burnt. It's a different color.
Oh my goodness.
But it was an uneventful sports weekend, though.
Yeah. It was pretty quiet.
It was pretty quiet. Wasn't too much going on.
Not a lot. We got our MLB All-Stars. We talked about that. The reserves were announced. Juan Soto not only didn't start, he did not make the team. I just want to that to me is just unworldly. Trey Turner, who leads all major league shortstops in batting average, doubles, steals, like every statistical category except home runs, did not make the team. Juan Soto did not make the team.
Yeah,
wild. Now, listen, baseball does it a way that I think is the wrong way to do it. Every team needs to have representation. I disagree with that. I'm not of that thought process that every team, your team stinks, you shouldn't go to the All-Star game. Right. I don't care. Like, if you got good stats and you earn it, it's like, oh, well, we got to bring somebody from the Colorado Rockies. No, the hell you don't. The Marlins don't need a representative. They barely show up to their own park.
Facts.
Like, why does every team need to have a representative? Mo, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. That would drive me crazy if the NFL or the NBA were that way. We're like, well, we got to make sure that Portland have somebody come in there. Like, yeah, I don't believe in that. If you're the best player on a bad team, you're the leader of a bad team, and your numbers don't hold a lot of weight if your team is getting the brakes beat off them every night. You shouldn't be an all-star. So I don't agree that the representation thing. If you want to say maybe some players from each team should be there to support the All-Star weekend, I agree with that. They can be involved in other aspects, but they shouldn't be all-stars.
Especially if their stats aren't there. Like, I'm fine if there's a statistical, a guy batting 330 on the Miami Marlins and he earns being an all-star. His team just stinks. Like, we're talking about, well, we have to pick someone from Pittsburgh. I don't why. Will, help me understand. Why?
I don't get it either. I don't understand it either. I agree with you. It's a completely wrong way to do things. Not all these teams deserve to be represented. Particularly now in this era of baseball, where you got bad teams out there who are barely holding on to being a team. So I'm with you. I disagree with it too.
The Rockies might break the record for most losses in a season.
I think they're going to
in the All-Star game. I could just imagine that in the NBA. Well, we're gonna have somebody from Portland and the worst teams in all of basketball. Charlotte, we're gonna throw
Wizards.
LaMelo Ball in there and see what he does. I can't do it. I'm just
It makes
frustrated.
no sense to me. It
Well,
makes
is
no
there
sense to me.
anything, and listen, you want to bring up AEW, you're fine. I'm gonna be very clear. I don't watch AEW. I'm not an AEW guy. I'm invested in the WWE. I think AEW is terrible storytelling. I'm just being clear when I say that. But is there anything you want to bring up in the world of wrestling?
We do have the 2025 All In that's going to happen this Saturday, July 12th, down in Texas. Going to get some very interesting matches. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. Mom, I ask you, and Gene, you can chime in on this too. Is Mercedes Moné overrated? As we all used to know, she used to be Sasha Banks in WWE. Is she overrated or underrated?
I actually think she's gotten better as an in-ring performer. I've watched her. I mean, I'm not into AEW. Brett's kind of pulled me into that. But watching her as an in-ring performer, I think she's made strides that she didn't make in the WWE. I always thought she was a big star. The star part she had down, but I think she's gotten a lot better as an in-ring performer. Look, I don't know much about AEW as storytelling goes. I will say this: the storytelling they've done with Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm, what I've seen of it, very impressive.
It's been good. Give it that.
Yeah, but like, can I ask you a question, Will?
Sure.
How many times have these two fought?
I believe this is the first time they're fighting, or their first match.
This is only their first. I
Mhm.
always hear those two names. They're the only two names I hear. Who do they normally wrestle against? I've never heard. It'd be like if I heard The Rock and John Cena a million times. Like, these guys do they wrestle each other every week? I don't like. I've never heard of them fighting someone else.
Yeah, that's the first time that they're meeting, and it should be a good match. I'm looking forward to it.
Tony Storm has come a long way, Will. Like, I didn't know that she used to be a WWE talent.
Yep, she did.
Clearly, she's somebody that didn't find her lane there. Like, I guess in WWE, she was more like a female Rocky Maivia. so she had to go to AEW to find her thing, her niche. The character that she's created is perfect because she plays it to the hilt.
Oh, she does.
Isn't a perfect example of that Cody Rhodes though? Stardust went to AEW.
Yeah,
the Stardust.
Yeah,
you really shouldn't be able to come back from Stardust.
No,
you really shouldn't be able to.
Rocky, what's worse, Rocky Maivia or Stardust?
I think Stardust
is terrible.
Rocky Maivia is corny. Stardust was terrible.
Real quick, we got Moxley versus John Moxley versus Heyman Adam Page. This is going to be a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. That should be interesting. I'm not really a Heyman Adam Page fan, but we'll see how that goes. Then we're gonna have for the match to unify the AEW Continental Championship and the AEW Intercontinental Championship into one unified title. We got O'Connell versus Kenny Omega. I am looking forward to that match. That should be a good one, fellas. Mo, who you picking?
I would go with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is a bad man, so don't sleep on him. Hey, Will, real quick, with Mercedes Moné, doesn't she have like 4 or 5 belts?
Oh man, she got like 5 or 6.
Like she's gone to different federations and beaten their like she's just walking around with belts all over her body.
She's lost 1 title since she's been there, and that was her trip to Japan when she lost that title over there. Other than that, she hasn't really lost. We also got a couple of matches that are to still be determined. We got the men's casino gauntlet match for a future AEW championship spot. That should be determined this week on AEW television. Same thing with the women. That should be determined at AEW television. Then we got looks to be a tag team match: Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. I love Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks, and I can't stand the Young Bucks. You fellas remember the Rock and Roll Express from back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Young Bucks look to be a copycat of, and they don't do it right. I can't stand the Young Bucks. But Strickland and Ospreay, those boys are the truth. If you get a chance to check them out, definitely check them out. Then we got for the singles match, AEW TNT Championship, Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. Good to see Adam Cole be back doing his thing. Last match on the card, we got the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin versus Jet Speed, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Patriarchy, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. If the Hurt Business don't win this match, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad.
I'm gonna say something. Sheldon Benjamin is in amazing shape.
Yes, he
Like,
is.
to be where he is at the age that he is, he still moves and does athletic stuff like he was still in his 20s. Like, he's insanely fit and athletic. And that just blows my mind that he still does that kind of stuff that he does, working the ropes. I'm really impressed with him. I think the Hurt Syndicate finds a way to win this. They'll probably get some outside help, but they'll win, right?
Yeah, I think they'll win too. Because don't forget, MVP will be in their corner.
That's why I said they'll win.
Yep. Love MVP. Love MVP. And I gotta give Bobby Lashley some props too, because he's up there in age and he still looks good. So I gotta give Bobby Lashley some props. But other than that, fellas, that's all I got.
I just kind of wanted to take a touch on NBA Summer League. Just wanted to kind of move to that for a second. And I think that it's funny how some things happen. And I know these games are scheduled in advance. I understand that completely. I know that, like, it's not fixed the way it just feels like it is when it happens. But the Philadelphia 76ers passed on Ace Bailey. They passed on him. You know, Ace Bailey didn't want to be there. The 76ers, I find. We're going to go with VJ Edgecombe, a guy that I think that has the highest floor anybody outside of the top two. After Harper and Flag. I think Harper and Flag are your consensus 1-2. Yes. And then the highest floor outside of them, I think, is VJ Edgecombe. And Ace Bailey goes 5 to the Jazz. And sure as you get it, game 1 of the Summer League, you get Jazz 76ers. And, like, to me, it's are they both going to play? Yeah, they play. How are they going to look? And I'll give you, if you guys didn't see the game, I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown. Ace Bailey shot a ton. He was 3 for 13 for 8 points with a -12. He was terrible defensively. He hustled. Give him credit. He hustled. VJ Edgecombe shot a ton also. He was 13 of 27 for 28 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and a +10 plus-minus. 76ers ultimately lost the game. The Summer League's not for wins and losses. I understand that. But going away from that game, if you're the 76ers front office, are you excited over the result of just the Summer League game, or is it just a Summer League game?
I'm excited. I think Edgecombe's going to be better than Ace Bailey, and I don't know that he won't be better than Harper. I look at him now when I'm watching him, and I know it's Summer League, but I don't watch Summer League like you. I don't watch it for who wins. I'm looking to see the players that separate themselves from other players, because it's chaotic and it's not really about wins and losses. The comparisons people were making were Oladipo and D Wade. I think he's more D Wade, which is a good thing. Nothing against Oladipo, but D Wade's a Hall of Famer. D Wade's got some dog in him. D Wade's won titles. Yep. I think I see more D Wade, the way he pays the passing lanes, the way he goes to try to block shots from the weak side. And he doesn't care if it's Summer League. Watch him play, and you see how hard he plays. He got a lot of dog in him. A lot of dog in him. He's not worried about looking cool. Like this dude comes to compete. So if I'm Philly, I'm through the moon at the idea that I've got him, McCain, and Maxey on the perimeter.
Hey, listen, that's music to my ears. That's music to my ears, Mo. If he becomes Dwayne Wade, I would be over the moon. And I get it, right? Dwayne Wade couldn't shoot the 3, and neither could VJ. VJ was 1 for 7 for 3. I think they're trying to develop a 3-point game for him, so they can't just stuff the lane when they're playing the 76ers. But athletic-wise, Like you watch him on that fast break, he just drives by two guys and dunks effortlessly. Loved what I've seen from VJ. I don't think Ace looked bad. A couple bad shots, but that's what he's known for. Will, did you catch any summer league action?
Yeah, I saw some of that game. The thing I like about VJ is that he looked like he was a natural athlete. He's not somebody out there trying to force stuff. He's not somebody there trying to do some bad things to try to make the rotation. He was out there and he looked like a natural athlete. The way he was running the floor, the way he was shooting fluently. The Philly should be very happy with what they saw. They should be very happy with what they saw. I'll be hyped up. I will be hyped up.
Second question. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bill.
No, I was just gonna say, like, how can you not be optimistic? Everybody's talking everybody's talking about the opportunity that the Knicks and the Cavs have. And I'm like, no one's saying nothing in Philly. They're being very, very quiet. But if Philly's whole, how are they not better than either one of them?
Yep.
We have to be quiet because what we've witnessed the last few years, we have to be quiet. Okay. Just be clear. The 76ers are not allowed to speak. We're not allowed to talk. We're not allowed to be excited. If you make it Eastern Conference Finals, then you'll hear us talk again. That's it.
I got you.
Understood.
John Broome looked pretty good too. You know, a lot of people forget who John Broome is, but John Broome was, you know, probably second, third best player in the country for Auburn. Obviously, you know, his age and being 25 years old, it gives him like a little bit of like, it's kind of an older guy, took long to develop. He's got a vertical that's shorter than me, you, and Mo. Like he's got zero vertical, but he looked good. He looked good in the game. He's got that like he's like an old soul presence. Like he's got moves.
He got the old man game.
Yeah, very old man.
He got the old man game. Yeah.
Another guy I looked at in the Warriors-Lakers game, and then again the Lakers played Sunday. A guy I expected to just dominate the summer league. If you looked, just my opinion, right? If you looked at what happened this past year for the Lakers, you would think if this guy came back and played in the summer league, he would be the best player by far. He's looked terrible for 2 straight games in the summer league. That's Dalton Knecht. Have you watched Dalton Knecht play basketball, Mo?
I've watched him. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him? I mean, the Lakers won one, lost one. It's not, once again, not for the wins and losses, but in both games, he shot terribly. He was 0 for 6 for 3 versus the Warriors, which is, you know, what his calling card is shooting the long ball. And then in a game where they absolutely blew out the Miami Heat, he was 0 for 3 for 3 there, and only had 4 points.
I watched both games, and I felt like Dalton Knecht was pressing. Like he's not shooting with rhythm. He's just getting shots off for the sake of getting shots off. I think he's still in his head, and I know some people would disagree with this take. I still think till this day he's not gotten over the fact that they tried to trade him. I think that bothers him. I think that's in his head. And look, that's a lot of guys would feel that way. I feel like he needs a fresh start. It's crazy to say, but he needs a fresh start because I just think that he doesn't feel part of that organization. And even now, when people are still talking about the current offseason, what are they talking about? When they include any kind of trade package, it includes the name Dalton Knecht.
Yep.
So I think he's in his head because of everything going on around him.
I do have another question. I know he's 26 years old. I understand that he's been in the league for a little bit. He's still in the summer league. Cole Swider, is he like a hidden gem? Like I barely even know who this dude is. He's got 44 points total in 2 summer league games.
He looked like a man among boys. I'll say
Yep.
that. He's played well. I'm like you, totally forgot about this name, and then I watched him play, and I'm like, and I'm trying to look at where was he drafted? Oh, he's been there for a minute. Look, some people develop late. He could be one of those late developing players. If he's going to play this way throughout the summer league, he might play himself into somebody's regular rotation.
I'm shocked you guys didn't even bring up Bronny James. Shame on y'all.
No, I'm not bringing up that name.
Bring up.
Yeah.
He was a DNP in the first game. He had 10
And
points.
then 10 points in the second.
Yeah. I don't have much to say.
2 more basketball topics I have. Dude, kind of small topics, but I found it very interesting. The Rockets traded Cam Whitmer to the Wizards, and in my mind, I'm like, all right, this is an opportunity for Cam Whitmore to step up. And I did not see that one coming. I thought he would be part of their rotation and their depth chart, and they just gave him away, like for nothing. 2 second-round picks. Just said, we're just going to get rid of you. We don't want anything to do with you. I don't know if it's something he did internally. I trust Ime Udoka, so I think that the Rockets front office probably knows something that we don't. But what are your thoughts on Cam Whitmore getting traded for basically a Cool Ranch bag of Doritos?
I thought he was going to.
No, go ahead, Will.
I'm sorry. I agree with Gene. I thought he was going to be a part of that rotation down the line. Somebody to help get them through on that team. When I saw that go over the wire, I was sort of kind of shocked. Like, what are they doing?
So what their GM and a team spokesman said was, because of the acquisitions that they've made and the core that they have, they felt like he would not get any more playing time or the opportunity to crack the regular rotation. I feel like that's team speak for he's got an attitude problem. He's got an attitude problem. He's talented as all hell, but we think that we're a title contender, and I think Coach Udoka's like, I don't have time for malcontents, and I think they're just moving off of him because I'll put it this way: as much as people are high on Jalen Green, I think Cam Whitmore is better than Jalen Green. I think he's more talented than Jalen Green.
I just don't understand. Like, if I'm the Rockets, like, we're really going to make a push for Tari Eason and Dorian Finney-Smith over Cam Whitmer. I just feel like that's a player they could have developed. And look, he might have an internal attitude problem, and that's not for me to know or for me to understand now. But I've watched Cam Whitmore play, and if we're going to talk about him having an attitude problem, this is a Villanova kid. It's not like this guy's coming from a great program. He was well coached. I don't like, name kids from Villanova that come into the league and have attitude problems. Like, right. I could give you tons
Slim to none, really.
Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, all these guys they all have something in common. They work hard, they're hustle guys, they're team players. Like, it seems like it's out of the norm.
I would
maybe to send a message as well.
For the talent that he is, to get traded for 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
That's crazy to me. And if you're him, you're like, yeah, I can go to the Wizards and probably definitely get some playing time. But we always talk about what culture does for young careers. I don't want to keep harping on what the Wizards culture has been, but it hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. There's a reason they live in the lottery. That's not good.
Yep.
Now, this is the first time I've ever seen this. And when I seen the trade, I'm like, oh, this is a great trade for the Nuggets. I've never seen this happen before. Starting NBA center got traded. He's going to be a backup for Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets absolutely needed a backup for Nikola Jokic. He doesn't want to play in the NBA. He wants to play in Greece. And the Nuggets are like bargaining with him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey, we'll void the final 2 years of your contract. You just play this year as the backup for Nikola Jokic. Like, we want to take a run at playing in the NBA Finals. Like, he wants to play for Greece. This is the first time I've seen an NBA player that starts in the NBA go, want to go play overseas again. And I understand, your Valanciunas is a good center in the NBA. He's not a bad guy. Like, I think he's a top 20 center in basketball, and I guess he'll be a backup, and that's okay. But the Denver Nuggets have informed Jonas Valanciunas representatives that the franchise fully expects the center to honor his contract. The Nuggets agreed to trade with the Sacramento Kings to acquire Valanciunas for Dario Saric. Denver informed Valanciunas that would not let him out of the remaining 2 years of his contract. Valanciunas has been pursued by Greece's, and there's just no way.
That name.
What are your thoughts on this Valanciunas situation?
I think Valanciunas is frustrated with the business of the NBA. On the Pelicans, he was one of their primaries. He was a main part of their rotations. And then he gets moved to the Wizards. That could break anybody's spirits. And then he goes to the Kings. And again, if you think if you feel that you're a good player, and he is a good player, and then you get moved the way he's gotten moved around the last few years, and then, even though you're getting sent to, I think, a great team and a great situation, I think he's frustrated with the business of the NBA. I think he wants out. I think he's just done with the business of the NBA. If I'm the Nuggets, yeah, I can make a deal with you. Like, just be here for this year, and you can bounce.
Will?
I think he got Mo's hit head right. He the nail right on the head. I think that he is disenfranchised with what the NBA has done to him to a certain extent. He wants to go somewhere where he can be better utilized in his mind, and I think that's what he wants to do. If I'm Denver, and I get you're trying to satisfy the player by voiding those final 2 years, and I get that. So if you can get him to just play this season. And those guys have loaded up. I think that would be the way to go and get them up out of there, because you can always find you a decent backup center.
One real quick question, Gene. I know this wasn't a topic,
Yeah,
but it's been annoying me the whole weekend. So Paul Pierce is on. Oh, you must have already seen it. Maybe you read the same
Mo,
thing.
you got to be kidding me, Wednesday, Mo. I already have it. I shared it in the group. It's my you got to be kidding me for Wednesday.
I can't get over it. I can't let it go, because he goes on another show, because before it was I need to be in the conversation as one of the greatest scorers of all time, and then he goes, no, when you think about it, I'm actually the greatest pure scorer of all time. And then they go, Paul Pierce or Michael Jordan, my middy's a little bit better. I've got a little bit better of a post game. Paul Pierce or LeBron James. Oh, that's an easy one. Paul Pierce or Kevin Durant. Like, well, I got more. He can do all the other things better, but my post game. Like, he went through all the greater. And I know they're not. I know the question isn't who's the better player. It's who's the greater scorer. But he had a line in his own mind that he's better than Kobe, better than Jordan, better than KD, even whatever you feel about LeBron, better than LeBron. Like, it drove me crazy. Like, this is what I mean about dudes wanting to rewrite their greatness and not just be honest. If he had said, I was a great scorer, I should be recognized as one of the great scorers. If he stops there, I'm with him. When you say that you're better than Michael Jordan as a scorer, we can't have a real conversation. I don't even think Paul Pierce, I know he's I think he's second all time as a Celtics scorer, but when you talk about prolific scorers, what do all prolific scorers have in common? They won multiple scoring titles because they were prolific scorers. Paul Pierce has never won a scoring title. I don't understand that. I don't understand the conversation that came out of his mouth. Like, he just went through the list. You name it. T-Mac. He goes, yeah, he's more athletic, but I'm a little bit better in the midi. I can shoot a three better. Like, I don't understand where he's going. I don't understand. And I guess my question to you guys is, do you think Paul Pierce really believes he's the greatest scorer of all time?
I mean, I think he believes he's delusional, though. Like, I think he's super delusional. Like, I don't think he was a better scorer than Carmelo Anthony, who I think was a great scorer. Kevin Durant. LeBron. Kobe. I don't think he was a better scorer than Michael Jordan. Like, I don't have Paul Pierce in my top 20 scorers of all time. And he was a good scorer. Let me be very clear.
He was a good scorer.
There's just 20 scorers in NBA history. I think they're better.
He said he was better than AI too?
Yes. Yeah, he went through. They brought up Steph and AI. Not only did he say he was better than both of them, he was dismissive of both of them. The guy goes, Allen Iverson. He goes, that's an easy one. He's next. He said Steph Curry. He goes, yeah, I do everything better than him. All he can do is shoot.
Man, drugs and alcohol are a wonderful thing.
Here's the thing that you have to separate. You can have a bag. You might have a better bag than somebody else. That doesn't make you a better scorer. Like, if you say I can do 8 things, I can score in 8 different ways. If LeBron can score only in 3 different ways, and you can't stop those 3 different ways, that's why he's the all-time leading scorer.
Yep.
If you tell me Michael Jordan can't shoot the three, it's not like you're making him shoot the three. He can shoot the midi. He's got a post game. He's got a fadeaway. He's certainly not better than Michael Jordan attacking the basket. He's not better than Michael Jordan in the open court. Like, what can't Michael Jordan do as a scorer in terms of how he dictates scoring?
All right, so I need to address this comment. Kyle, I love you, and I hope you're not defending Paul Pierce. He said, hey, LeBron called himself the GOAT when he wasn't. Paul is trying the same logic. Here's something. I'm not a LeBron James fan. I'm not. Just not.
But you do respect him, right?
100%. I think he's the second greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
I want to say something that I think people need to understand. And I hate making this argument because it's not my argument. There's absolutely an argument for LeBron James being the greatest player of all time.
No doubt.
There's absolutely a debate for that. He has the most points ever. He was a good, and sometimes in the middle of his career, great defender. He is a great passer, one of the greatest passers the league has ever seen. His basketball IQ is off the charts. He can rebound the basketball very well. I don't think he's the greatest, but you can make an argument for him. Here, I'll make the argument against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan scored better than LeBron James. I can't name you another thing I clearly think Michael Jordan did better than LeBron James. There's your argument. And like, he didn't rebound better. He didn't pass better. LeBron was a much better transition defender. Michael, when he wanted to, was a very good on-ball defender. So, like, I'm not going to make the argument who's the better defender. But the point I'm making is I can make an argument for him. Yeah, MJ's definitely a better clutch player.
Better clutch, but definitely.
I can make I cannot make the argument for Paul Pierce. I can't make the argument for him being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like I'm LeBron and I'm the Miami Heat. Not 2, not 3, not 4.
Right.
I can't make the argument for him.
That's what I mean about, like, here's a good example. Because Paul Pierce his whole point was the different ways that he can score makes him a better scorer. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not about your bag, because if we judge guys on their bag, then Kyrie would be the greatest scorer of all time. If we judge guys on their bag, Joe Johnson's got a better bag than Paul Pierce, but we don't think Joe Johnson is one of the greatest scorers of all time because we know better.
And we judge people on their bag. Kareem wouldn't be a top 15 player.
He would not be, because he's got 3 shots, and one of them is just set to repeat. Right? we don't do it that way. LeBron's the all-time leading scorer, and I give him credit for this. No, he doesn't score in a variety of ways like a Kevin Durant or a Jordan or Kobe, but the ways that he scores, you can't stop. And he does it over and over. I don't care if Paul Pierce can score in more ways. I'm judging you on how often you score. And LeBron is a greater scorer, period. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are better scorers, period. Like, I feel like Paul Pierce shouldn't even be in that conversation. That's how I feel.
Completely agree with you.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen.
Amen.
I have a fun topic for today. And I love this topic when it comes out. The NFL executives do this every year. They survey league executive coaches and scouts to help rank top 10 players at 11 different positions, from quarterback to cornerback, all positions in between. This was the 6th edition of these rankings, and as usual, several players moved up and moved down. There's last year's list, but this week we're going to talk about running back. So running backs come out today. Tomorrow's defensive tackles, edge rushers Wednesday, safeties Thursday, tight ends Friday. But running backs are what we're doing first. Now, some of these executives are out of their goddamn mind. Some of these scouts are out of their mind. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to share my screen and we'll go over it together. And I'm going to go over person by person, and we're going to give opinions. Before I share my screen, it should be consensus, in my opinion. But who do you think is the number 1 listed running back this year?
It should be Saquon Barkley.
Barkley.
Okay. They got that one correct. No issues there. His highest ranking was 1. You see it on the screen?
Yep.
See if I make it bigger for you guys. You can see that. His lowest ranking was 2. I'm okay with that. Like, there's a couple guys you could be like, all right, if I'm a scout, I'm like, I really love what Derrick Henry does, or I'm fine if he's ranked 2 on your list, 1 highest ranking, fine. That's exactly where he should be at. Barkley got greedy in 20. He clearly wanted every first place vote in the 2025 poll, and he got all but one of them. But the one that he got, we'll get into it. It's just very interesting. Derrick Henry, number 2. No issues here.
I'm good with that.
No problem. No problem.
What I have an issue with is someone had him ranked 6th.
Who was the dumbass that did that?
I don't know, but
They need to put their names on this.
6th.
They need to put their names on this.
You know what it was? It was probably the Titans exec.
Probably so. Just to make sure he wasn't a homer.
Right.
Number 3. Don't have an issue here. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Nope. No
Highest
issue.
ranking was 2. Lowest ranking 9. I even understand that. I understand him being ranked 9 because I can make an argument for 6, 7, 8 guys above Jahmyr Gibbs. He's in a backfield where a lot of it's split. He had a great end.
David Montgomery.
I'm fine with that. It doesn't get crazy yet. Number 4. Bijan Robinson.
Perfect.
Okay.
There's no issue there. My issue I have with is his highest rank is 1. I don't know how you do that. And his lowest rank is unranked, not in the top 10.
Wow.
That's crazy. Giving
How is he not here? So let me ask you guys a question. What do you think is more absurd? Someone having him 1, which I don't think he's 1, or someone not having him in their top 10?
Anybody that doesn't have them in the top 10 is absurd.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay.
This kid has the potential to be very Marshall Faulk-like. Like he can play out of the backfield, get down the field. Like he's not one-dimensional. Like he can easily leap up there and be right behind Henry and Saquon. He's that talented.
He's also gonna get the usage to produce too every season.
Yeah, he very much look. As much as I like Gibbs, right, because of the way they run their offense, he probably will end up with more yards than Gibbs. He'll be more productive than Gibbs.
I can see that 100%. I just can't see not having him in the top 10.
That's crazy.
Trust me, I wouldn't be bringing this list up this much if I didn't think near the end it gets real wild. Number 5, Christian McCaffrey. Highest ranking 3, lowest ranking unranked. I understand everybody that ranks him 3. I understand everybody that has him unranked. I am fine with this. You're banking on him coming back from injuries. If you have him 3, you're banking on him not recovering from injuries if you have him 5 or unranked. Any issues here?
Me and Christian McCaffrey got beef because he ruined my fantasy team, so he can be unranked for all I care.
No, I think they have him ranked properly
He
because
ruined my fantasy team.
I'm hoping as a Niners fan, obviously, to see Mac has a solid year, but I can see why it could go either way because of his health. So I got it.
6 is Josh Jacobs, who had a great year last year. Highest ranking 3, lowest ranking 10. I'm skipping over this because I think it's very logical. It gets nuts right here. Jonathan Taylor, someone ranked him 2. I don't think Jonathan Taylor's mother has him ranked 2 in the NFL. How? What does he do better than Saquon? What does he do better than Derrick Henry? What does he do better than Bijan Robinson?
Nothing.
What does he do better than Jahmyr Gibbs?
Nothing.
What are we doing? An NFL executive or a scout ranked him 2. How?
I would also throw in when you rank running backs, you also have to take into account their offensive line and their quarterback. And I'm only bringing it up because the Colts have a solid offensive line.
Very solid.
but the quarterback position is a question mark for sure. I know if I'm playing the Colts, until he proves otherwise, I don't care if it's Danny Dimes. If it's Richardson, I'm immediately starting the game off playing 9-man in the box.
Yep.
If it's Danny Dimes, I'm playing at least 8-man in the box until he proves me he can run me or throw me out of that. But that's the problem that Jonathan Taylor faces, is the question marks at the quarterback position. I think Jonathan Taylor is a top 6 or 7 back. I think having him 2 is insane. But having him ranked where he is, that's about right.
The rankings are great. I don't think there's much wrong with the rankings. What I have an issue with is the highest and lowest. That's my biggest problem. It's more of like the MLB. I think the rankings are fine. Like a guy I think is way, like James Cook, I think he's way underrated. I think should be 8 is perfect for him. I think the people in the NFL that do not rank him top 10, like the unranked people, I think they're not watching him play.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9, Joe Mixon. Here's a big issue. What are we looking at to rank Joe Mixon top 5?
I don't know, because I don't rank him top 5. I think that's way too high for Joe Mixon. I think what Joe Mixon is, we talk about this a lot in a lot of sports. He's a really good football player. He's been a really good running back. You know what he's never been, and nobody's ever going to say he is? Or, well, at least I wouldn't. No one's ever said Joe Mixon is the best running back in football, or the second best running back. No one's ever said that.
Nope.
And that's not a knock. He's a really good player, but there's always been running backs better than him while he played.
Always. And then your boy is number 10, Alvin Kamara. Will, your thoughts on Kamara being 10? Too high, too low, properly ranked?
I think that's done up. First of all, 7. I don't know. He's not 7. He's about 29, 30 years old this season. It's about right for what the Saints are gonna do, and that run usage. That's about right for Alvin.
I would disagree with that.
That's about right for Alvin,
because isn't he? Joe Mixon is around the same age as Kamara is, and I think Kamara's a better football player. Like when we say no one ever thought he was the best player in football, there was a time when Kamara was one of the 3 best backs in football. People considered him that. I think Kamara still a better football player than Joe Mixon.
I just think that when you look at Kamara, he's gonna usage wise, he should be fine. But I think from an athlete's perspective, he may take a step back. Plus, when you look at the rookie, and his name escapes me. They got to try to give him some run this season too. But I like him here at 10. I like him.
You're talking about the kid with the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
That's fair.
They go give him some run too. So he's fine. And then another thing that's concerned with Kamara, you didn't see it last year. His injury history, which is another concern for me.
Here are your honorable mentions: Bucky Irving, Aaron Jones, Devon Achane, Breece Hall, James Conner. Also receiving votes: Kyron Williams, David Montgomery. That's a joke. Brian Robinson, joke. Chuba Hubbard, I can understand that. DeAndre Swift is a joke, and Kenneth Walker is a joke to have them in your top 10.
The guy that's interesting in that group is I think it's Bucky Irving. Don't sleep. He's the one guy that can break out from that group and have a 1,400 yard season.
You saw that last season. That last season where he ran the football. And if Devon Achane can stay healthy, he might break free from that group too if he can stay healthy.
The problem with Achane is this.
He's so small.
He's not a 25, 30 carry back. He's got a split time. He's a breakaway back. They try to run him like he's a workhorse running back. That's not what he is. And until they get that in their heads, he's going to always miss time.
Because I know they let go. Did they let go of Raheem Mostert this season?
Yeah, they did.
Right.
Okay.
They got rid. So, and if you've seen Mostert over his career, he's just an older version of Achane. That's what Mostert's always been. He's been a breakaway back. If you play him situational, terrific football player. If you try to run him 25, 30 times a game, won't make it through a season.
In my opinion, Breece Hall should be a top 10 back. I would have him above Alvin Kamara. I'd also have Bucky Irving above Alvin Kamara. And nothing against Alvin Kamara, but I want to say a statement that I think William might know. Hey, Will, let me ask you a question. How many 1,000-yard rushing seasons do you think Alvin Kamara has in his career?
Rushing, not overall scrimmage, none.
He's zero.
None.
Zero. Bucky
Now, you look at
has more.
Yeah, and when you look at an overall scrimmage from Alvin, okay, I got you because that's the way Sean Payton used him.
Yeah.
But overall, no, I think he's going to take a step back this season.
It's been interesting because he's got I'm sure he's got a few seasons receiving with 600, 700, 800 yards. They use him in such a unique way.
I think Devon Achane, if he's used properly, should be a top 10 back in the league. But you have to get him 15 to 20 carries total. And that's it. You cannot have him. He will not be your workhorse. And I think by them drafting Jalen Wright is exactly what they wanted to do. It could be a thunder and lightning type situation. And Jalen Wright's not thunder, right? He's quick, but he's a lot bigger, stronger than what Devon Achane is. Devon Achane is a home run hitter. Yeah. And you can put him in that backfield, give him 15, 20 carries, 3 catches, and allow him to be explosive. When you try to give him 25 carries is a mistake. Yeah. He's too small. He can't take that. Bucky Irving, guys, I got laughed at last year. Going into last year's draft, on Wire to Wire, we always rank our top 5 running backs coming out of the class. I just didn't have it the way a lot of other people did. I had Jonathan Brooks one, to be fair. He hasn't played. He got hurt. And we'll see what he ends up doing this year for Carolina. I think he'll eventually take Chuba Hubbard's job. Like Bucky Irving, too. And most people didn't have him in their top 5. I love what Bucky Irving did at Oregon. I know what type of back Bucky Irving can be at the next level. And he proved me right. He definitely proved me right. I'm looking forward to year 2 of Bucky Irving. And as long as I don't have to see Rachaad White play as much, he's terrible to watch. He's just it's 4 yards, dive into someone's legs. 4 yards, dive into someone's legs. He catches the ball and just dives forward for 3 yards. You didn't try to make someone miss. You're allowed to run with the football. Right. We used to make a joke about Zach Ertz, calling him No Yak Zach, because every time he caught the ball, he'd fall down. I feel like Rachaad White's got a little bit of that syndrome in him. Bucky Irving, absolutely not. If I'm making this list, I'm taking Kamara off the list, and I'm moving up guys like Achane and guys like Bucky Irving.
Let me ask you a question. Would you keep, because again, I got beef with McCaffrey in so many ways. Would you keep McCaffrey where he was, or would you replace him with those honorable mention guys?
I think McCaffrey's shot. That's my
I think he's done.
I think that McCaffrey is what you've seen with Todd Gurley when everybody forgets Todd Gurley was the best running back in football for 4 years.
Yep.
He was incredible. And then the injuries happened. And I never forget the season where you're like, yeah, we're just resting him. Just giving him some rest on his knees. They went to the Super Bowl that year. He didn't play.
Yep.
It was so weird. It was just you have Todd Gurley and he just didn't really play. That was the year they lost 13-3. I'm not talking about the year they won the Super Bowl. If anybody's listening at home trying to correct me. That was the year they lost to the New England Patriots. I think it was 2018.
Yep.
But he didn't play. It was weird. And they're like, he's fine. He'll be all right. Let's give him an off season. Next thing you knew, he was on the Falcons. He wasn't playing there.
Nope.
It just fell off a cliff. You cannot have Achilles, just your Achilles, be degenerative injuries to your Achilles. He's going to Germany to check his feet out. Both of them. I don't know what's going on. It's not good. I don't think Christian's there. But I can understand I hope he bounces back. He's incredible to watch play football. Incredible, but I don't know. The one person that surprises me the most on these lists is Derrick Henry. Every year you think the cliff is coming, and it just never comes.
Never comes.
He's the guy that just defines logic at the running back position. Defies logic, not defines it. At the running back position. He's incredible to watch.
Yep.
Your thoughts on any of that, Mo?
No, I mean, there's so many question marks about McCaffrey and his health. and it could go either way. And I think the Niners are hoping for the best but preparing for the worst. When you start having the kind of injuries he's had, and you got to go to Germany because you want a second and third opinion, that's never a good sign.
Nope.
It's never a good sign. And he's a running back that his running style is so much dependent on quick cuts and change of directions. He needs those ankles, those feet to be right, or he's not the same football player. So, yeah, why wouldn't you be concerned?
Anything else NFL running back before we move on? I got one last topic.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
So another you got to be kidding me situation happened. And I don't know if you guys seen this, but it made me sick to my stomach. And I don't know why we have these ESPN analysts saying the dumb shit that they say.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, you're going to hear it. ESPN analyst says the Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. Carolyn Peck is her name. She said Thursday that the Indiana Fevers are a more dangerous team with Clark off the floor. I think Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot. So, you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they got so many weapons. Peck gave specific praise to Kelsey Mitchell, Ari McDonald, and Aaliyah Boston. Peck did not appear to give praise to Sophie Cunningham or Lexi Hall. A lot of people heard that, and it was just broken down to be a race thing. And it feels like a race thing when you don't mention Lexi Hall, when you don't mention Sophie Cunningham, and when you say the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark on the court. The three players that you mentioned are Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and their newest player that they just added in Ari McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
So I am first to call out dumb shit when it happens to anyone in the WNBA. This is stupid. This is a dumb comment. And the Fever made that take spoil like milk when they lost to the LA Sparks, the 5-12 LA Sparks that night. Is there any world in which the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark?
None that I can think of.
I don't think so.
Look,
No.
I what I will say is I didn't agree with her comment. Her comments are way out of bounds. But what you've seen since Caitlin Clark hasn't been on the floor is that there are some people that can take some of the workload off of Caitlin Clark. She's the focal point of other defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to say she can play off the ball a little bit more to free herself up from times, I agree 100% because Kelsey Mitchell and other people out there are very capable scorers. They can also be facilitators. So I agree with that way of thinking. But to say they're better without her, that's insane. Absolutely not. With her, along with the talent around her, I think they're fringe contenders.
We need to stop that. We need to stop the hate. We really need to stop the hate in situations like this. That was a stupid comment to say. She makes the modal move over there in Indiana. That's what Caitlin Clark does. And to say that they're better off without her, that's ridiculous.
And think about all the pressure that she plays with game to game.
Yep.
So she actually frees other people up because everything is drawn towards her. So I do think that their coach can find a way to include other players in a more motion-friendly offense because they do have talent.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the focal point. When you draw that much attention, everybody else should have more opportunities because of the attention that you bring.
Yep.
I'm going to say this specifically because for the comment that just came in, and I'm not going to put it up there because I'm not trying to put you like I'm going to say this specifically for you though, and I know you're listening to me. I think there's a lot of people, and I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing this, that try to counterbalance the credit that Caitlin Clark gets. I think anybody that thinks Caitlin Clark's been a top 5 player in the WNBA this year is on drugs. You're not lying.
She hasn't been. She hasn't been. No. She hasn't been. No.
She has the talent to be. Was she great the second half of last year? Absolutely. I also think there's a lot of people that give unfair criticism to other players on the team, like Aaliyah Boston or Kelsey Mitchell for last year. 100% unfair criticism. I also believe that Angel Reese doesn't get talked about when she's absolutely killing it the way she gets talked about when she has a bad game. You don't need to compound a wrong with a wrong. You don't need to overly criticize one person because there's morons out there that do not understand what they're watching and critique other people. Like, I feel like this is what happens in a tribalistic society where we have to over criticize someone to kind of like even it out. It's not evening it out. It's still wrong.
Yep.
It's still wrong. It was wrong when they blamed Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston last year. And it's wrong when the girl's now with a groin injury. She's hurt.
Yep.
Like, come on. Like, just stop being that way. And I know you're not. I know you're logical, person I'm speaking to in the chat. I know you're logical, but like, you've become so much of, I can't stand her fans. I can't stand you're literally becoming Cheryl Swoops with the way you're analyzing her. You don't need to be that way. You don't. You can call it down the middle and say she's had 3 bad games and then she had a groin injury and she's not a top 5 player in the W right now. Will she be? Predictably? Sure, I think she will be. But like, there's players playing better than her. Absolutely.
Yep.
But you can say that while also not overly criticizing someone to like sway the narrative. That's okay. Angel Reese is dominated this year. She's leading the WNBA by 3 rebounds per game. She's still leading the WNBA if you remove offensive rebounds. So stop the rebound shit. Did she get a bunch of those earlier in her career? Absolutely. Do I think it's funny? Absolutely thought it was funny. But if you can't watch that girl's last 6 games and realize, like last night, I think she had 14, 17, and 7.
That's sick.
Like, shut up.
That's sick.
I want to say this. If they ever get consistent perimeter play around her and Cardoza, that team's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
That team's going to be there's a reason why her and Cardoza get so many rebounds. They don't have consistent shooting. But if they ever get consistent perimeter play, they're going to be a problem.
We're at 10 o'clock on the dot. And we could talk about this a little bit tomorrow, but I do think you should read into the Napheesa Collier, Breanna Stewart, unrivaled WNBA conversation. It's really interesting. I don't think that they are conspiring against CBA negotiations, but it's worth the conversation. So I'm looking forward to having that a little bit more. We're at our 1 hour mark. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Don't forget to check out the sports report tonight here on Wild Wild Sports, 10 p.m. Eastern. Myself, 7, and on the rest of the crew will be right there to get you caught up on everything that went down in the world of sports today.
Looking forward to it. Hey, maybe that conversation is a little sports report conversation.
Sure.
Mo, any final thoughts?
I just want to thank the chat for the energy, everybody for joining us this morning. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much for joining Coffee and Sports in the morning show. Make sure you check out the sports report tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be back here tomorrow morning to give you a little bit more coffee and sports.